So, was it just me, or was everybody else super surprised that the Tetris film they announced they were making wasn't some kind of crazy, wacky comedy that was going to be centered around Tetris blocks that were sentient, and they lived in some kind of Tetris world where everybody was a Tetris block, and maybe we centered around a new character that was born, and maybe he had 5 blocks, not 4, not like the usual Tetris community, and he was an outcast, and they all had to learn to love him after, at first he's an outcast, but then he shows his worth as a 5-blocked Tetris piece. And it's a beautiful kid story of a coming of age of, an outcast, an outsider. Or maybe it's centered around just a classic Tetris block and he lives in some absurd world where there's just lots of kind of 80s 8-bit universes and they all live in one big, weird video game universe situation. I don't know, I just thought it'd be in the vein of like the Emoji Movie, the Angry Birds movies. I swear there are like 50 of these movies, but I can't remember or think of any of them off the top of my head. But no, they haven't gone down that route, which, if I'm going to be honest, once they announced it and I was like, that's going to be awful, I was also secretly like excited to see something so atrocious. Like, how are they going to do that? Like, what kind of insane like decision are they going to make the plot of a Tetris movie? A game about 4 blocks, different blocks, but all in 4 little blocks, just falling in like a little situation. Like, there's so little to make a movie about. So what are they gonna do? I was genuinely kind of excited. Like, what kind of trailer alone? Like, I might not watch the film, but I'll see that trailer and I will be fascinated and I will laugh at that movie. Oh, just the more and more I think about it, I think I want to see that movie. How would they do it? I just want to see how they would do it. It's just, somehow the potential is so limitless because they are so restrained. So they would have to just pick something insane and just go, we're just doing that. And they'd be like, how is that Tetris? I'm like, well, the Tetris blocks are involved, so it's Tetris. And just, we've been cheated. And of course, I guess we got this pretty good movie. Or whatever, it's a movie. But alas, we were not treated to whatever monstrosity we were all expecting. Instead, we got a biopic about the legal battle between different people over who owns the rights to Tetris and who has the rights to distribute Tetris and to make all that sweet, sweet money off Tetris. And so it is half drama, half business, legal battle film or something. And it's also somehow a spy espionage thriller, which is not what I expected at all. But to get the rights, main character, Mr. Taron Egerton, who you will know from Kingsman and other films or whatever, Elton John, and, that Robin Hood film that we all definitely remember exists and happened and he starred in. We all remember that film, Robin Hood. So Mr. Robin Hood himself, Taron Egerton, he's all like, I gotta go to Soviet Russia during, at the end of the Communist Party situation over there. So it's pretty heated. When you think of watching a movie called Tetris, you don't expect to see like a spy thriller, espionage kind of situation with lots of KGB agents and, twists and betrayals and situations like that. So it was not at all the film I was expecting, and I mostly enjoyed it. It's pretty damn fun. It's really well acted, it's really well filmed, all the costumes and sets all look amazing. If Apple TV is known for one thing for their streaming service with their TV shows and their movies, is that they are always going full John Hammond. They never spare any expense. Spare no expense! Apple TV say, is it because they really want their streaming service to be amazing and have high quality content? Or is it just that they have so much money and they don't actually notice spending these millions of dollars on these tiny movies that just get dropped on their streaming services and cannot possibly be making their money back? But I don't know how all this stuff works, but I am continuously surprised by the incredible sets and production values and costumes and actors they get in all their things. And this is no different. We've got Taron Egerton, we've got Toby Jones, that sniveling, that guy who's always just like kind of a slime ball. Somehow, not the slimiest slime ball in this movie. We've got some slime ball businessmen, billionaire rich guys. We've got some slime ball KGB agents. We've got some other characters or whatever. I don't know. I don't know any of the other actors, but everyone does a really, really good job. It's mostly really, really fun. It's a little formulaic, like, you know, I don't know, a lot of these kind of biopic things where they're like, I've got to go do this thing and win this situation and do this thing, and it's based off true events. Will I succeed? And the whole time you're kind of like, wow, I mean, it would be kind of insane if we were hearing this story if you failed. Because otherwise I would know that time that this game that we'd never heard of tried to get distributed over the world, but they failed, and that's why I don't really know what a Tetris is. But we all know what Tetris is. We've all played Tetris. We've all played it a lot. We all know what that musical theme is. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, so sorry, Editing Jack's just here to refilm a moment. I did about a 3-minute clip of me singing the theme. Then I got nervous that maybe I wasn't allowed to sing it. I don't know why. I just never do songs or musical bits, and I just don't want to deal with whatever YouTube does when it doesn't like a thing you do. So I cut it, but just know I nailed the song. Just the tone and I did a little dance. It was just, it was spectacular. You all missed such a wondrous thing. I did not cut it because it was awful, and I maybe got the song wrong. And I realized that as I was editing, I went, that's kind of off. Like, I'm halfway there, and then I kind of do a different song. I'm not even sure what it is. It's such a simple little tune, and somehow I got it wrong. But that's not what happened. I actually got it right, and it sounded really good. But copyright or something, maybe? That's a thing, right? So if you like history, if you like learning things, if you like video games, you will love this movie. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I am generalizing quite, substantially there. That was a big generalization. Those are 3 pretty big things. And those first 2 kind of sound boring sometimes, like saying history and learning. I'm already I'm kind of bored. Even though I do love learning things and history. Just hearing them together reminds me of school and makes me go, no, actually I don't. The football game's on. So Tetris is a lot of fun. It's surprisingly funny. It's charming. Taron Egerton is an amazing actor who just kills it in every single thing. And he seems to be Apple TV's new darling. He was in Blackbird and now he's in this. So I presume they'll be teaming up again. So if you have Apple TV, totally worth the watch. And if you don't, there's probably some way around it. I don't know. I couldn't possibly fathom how you would, but you could definitely find a way to watch this movie. And yeah, it's worth it. It's totally worth it. It's not going to change your life, but what film does change your life? Unless actually you love Tetris and somehow don't know any of this information, and it is all in fact mostly true, then this might change your life. Probably not, but I mean, you'll be mildly interested for 2 hours. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment below. I would love to know what everyone thought of Tetris. And please, more importantly, pitch me your Tetris film, but not like a boring or real movie with adults and talking and history or all that boring stuff. No, tell me your Tetris film that involves the Tetris blocks, but they're sentient. They talk.